welcome to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him at gods5minutes@gmail.com. Now, here's Ed Wilson with God's 5 Minutes.
Hello, friends. Isaiah 57 opens with, "The righteous perisheth, and no man layeth it to heart. And merciful men are taken away, none considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come. He shall enter into peace, they shall rest in their beds, each one walking in his uprightness." Toward the end of Isaiah's lifetime, the spiritual and moral condition of Judah was at an extremely low ebb. After good Hezekiah's death, his son Manasseh, who was probably Isaiah's own grandson, ascended to the throne and began a furious reign, seeking to overthrow all the godly things his father had built. The tradition of the rabbis is that this wicked man, in his outrageous persecution of everything and anyone godly, caused the prophet to be crammed into a hollow log and then sawn in two. The streets of Jerusalem ran red with the blood of martyrs during Manasseh's time of power. The obvious evil God permitted has provoked a question for believers as old as the story of Cain's cruel blow that struck down his brother. Why would a righteous God permit such a thing, or Jezebel's murder of the prophets of her day? Why did God allow any of the atrocities, which lie so thickly and darkly on history's pages? The Nazi Holocaust with its untimely slaughter of 6 million, Joseph Stalin with blood on his hands from 9 million of his countrymen, to name just two. Well, you see, there's a mystery in God's dealings. His ways, as Paul told us, are past finding out. If we would avoid insanity in this sin-cursed world in which we find ourselves, there are some things we must content ourselves to trust into his wisdom. But with these verses, the prophet lifted the veil just a fraction and let some light shine through. The righteous perisheth. The word means their earthly tenure comes to an end. One lesson in these scriptures is that living right does not exempt any of us from the inexorable law set in motion at the fall in Eden. Good people and evil have all one end. Righteousness delivers from the sting of death, but not from the stroke of it. The truth is, in times of persecution, the most righteous are the most exposed to the violence of bloody tyrants. Many times it seems those who can least be spared are first to fall. James, brother of John the Revelator, tutored by Jesus for 3.5 years, presumably for the purpose of bringing this new gospel to the world, died beneath the blow of Herod's executioner not long after Jesus' crucifixion. We ought to lay it to heart when a good life ends. The world needs good people, and where there is a vacancy, we should prayerfully consider what we can do to help mend the breach. Perhaps Isaiah's deepest message is that the killing that seemed a harsh disappointment to the faithful of his day as Manasseh hunted them down was really a merciful deliverance from the Assyrian scourge, soon to bereave the nation of all its richest treasures and shatter its fondest hopes. Why cause righteous people to share the judgment that must fall on wicked's heads? If Cain had murder in his heart, would his brother have been better off to stay in this world and be forced to confront the horror of it? Well, as I said, his ways are past finding out. What we know is that sometimes God, in his wisdom and mercy, takes people away from the evil to come. Haven't you seen it too? And thought to yourself, I'm glad that dear old sainted mother is not alive today to see the wretched, shameful life her once darling child is living? It'd kill her all over again. Isaiah said of the righteous, he shall enter into peace. That is a great hope that can cause us to keep trusting in our Creator through sunshiny days and dark ones. If we walk with God, our battle will not be forever. Somewhere, somehow, all will come right, and we will have our own peace that passeth understanding as we enter into a reality where the rewards of a godly life are forever settled and peace is eternal. Have you talked to God today?
You have been listening to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him by email at godsfive minutes@gmail.com. Tune in next time to hear more encouraging thoughts from God's Word on God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson.